Alright guys, I know it might sound like I have some sort of vendetta against Eternabond or the roof patch tapes. And somewhat I do. But it's just because they're not supposed to be used in every application that they do get used in. I think they're a great patch, especially for a rubber roof. This one didn't have a patch. This one came from the factory this way. Let's take a look at it and see what I'm talking about. Alright, well this is an Artic Fox, and this is the front cap. This was installed by the factory, and I think this was a 2011. So sitting out in the desert, this membrane that's on top of the tape itself has failed, so it's bridging this gap, or it's supposed to bridge the gap. And see what happens is it tears. And so the roof isn't loose. I mean, Artic Foxes are built really, really well. So this material, it just fails because it's like a PVC anyways. And now when it fails, it's just created this channel completely underneath the front cap. You can kind of see on this side because it bridges the gap still here. But if I push on it, let's see if I can push on it, it's actually not adhered right there. So there's just a big gap. Oh, I guess I just ripped that. So I was just cleaning the roof on this, and so in order to actually do this, I just can't put a bead of sealant right there because that doesn't get rid of this gap underneath there. So what I have to do is cut out both sides of this so I can expose that gap. Otherwise, trying to clean all this off, that's got to be close to $700 in labor and put it all back together again. So this is why I'm not a huge fan of Eternabond. If it was just Dicor or roof sealant, I could scrape that off really easily and then seal it back down again. It's really not a big deal to scrape and seal. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm just going to carefully cut out this part of the tape without damaging the roof. That way, when I put a bead of sealant down, it'll at least get under there. Because if you can see it was very dirty under here because that was a nice gutter or for water to just channel in. And of course, it can just sit right next to this this molding and eventually work its way into the front cap. I don't see any signs of it doing that, but it definitely is a possibility. Definitely has got the gray on the back side, so I'm gonna guess it's definitely a Eternabond. Well, here it is. Cut off all the bad part, and you can see the water made its way all the way down here, even underneath right here. So it's nice and dirty under there too. So you can't even begin to tell me that it wasn't installed properly on this one because the factory installed it brand new, so nothing was dirty. It's just the wrong application. I don't know why they did this other than they thought it was a nice preventive option. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why they do the things they do half the time. That wouldn't be that big of a deal, except they did the exact same thing back here. So you can see back here, it's also doing the same thing. So I have to do this twice. Like always. But I had to reseal anyway, so I'm not saying Dicor is a fix-all. It's just this is easier to reseal. Just clean that up a little bit and then seal over the top of it. Well, wish me luck. I got to thinking about it. If I left this side right there, it'd actually take a lot more sealant to seal up this side, so I'm just peeling off this side of the tape at least because it's down to a hard fiberglass cap, so it'll be a little bit easier to take off. Even though it's difficult to do one-handed. So today I'm changing it up and I'm using Superflex self-leveling sealant, which is a self-leveling acrylic sealant, not unlike Dicor. You got a good deal on that stuff. Exact same stuff basically. So all I'm going to do is run a bead down here a bead down here. Cover the top of this. Probably cover each one of these screw holes because it looks like some of this is breaking through too. And then it should be sealed. So. Well, there it is, guys. It took 3 tubes. And I'm overall pleased with the way it looked. I used a little bit more just so I could hide the old stuff. But it's at least sealed again. And should last at least another year. Because you're supposed to be checking these every year. You're supposed to be washing off your roof every year. You're supposed to do that. Why aren't you doing that? Do that. So this is just a quick video to let you know. It's not that I hate Eternabond by any means. I just don't think it has the universal applications that it's been sold as having. If this was just sealant, you wouldn't have that channel, that perfect channel all the way down because one section gave loose. If this was sealant, it would have been so much easier to clean up and then reseal. If this was sealant and the roof would come up loose right there, it would be so much easier to repair than trying to clean off all this old Eternabond. As a patch, great. As flashing, I'm not a big fan of it. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys.